All right, let's talk about a process that really separates the great projects from the ones that are just constantly putting out fires. I'm talking about managed quality. And forget about simple checklists. We're going to dive into how you embed excellence so deep into your project's DNA that high-quality results, they become pretty much inevitable.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to shift our whole mindset to be proactive, not reactive. Then we'll get into the essential intel you need, your inputs. From there, we'll open up the toolkit, see what you actually create, the outputs, and finally, we'll connect all the dots to show how this becomes a real engine for continuous improvement.
Okay, first things first. The biggest idea here is a fundamental shift in how we think. You know, most teams are stuck just detecting problems, finding mistakes after they've already happened. We're talking about moving into a world of prevention, where we build our processes so well that those mistakes rarely even happen in the first place.
So I want you to really think about this for your own work. Are your processes a well-oiled machine just humming along and producing great results? Or are they creating constant friction, rework, and headaches? Seriously, the answer to that question pretty much predicts how your project is going to end up.
Now, the PMBOK guide gives us this formal definition, but let's cut right to the chase. The key words here are translating and executable. This process is literally the bridge between your big picture quality strategy and what your team actually does day to day. This is where the plan becomes action. And let's be absolutely crystal clear on this one. Managed quality is not about inspecting the final product. By then, it's too late. It's all about looking upstream at your systems, your workflows, the standards you're using. The goal is to build such solid processes that you have total confidence your methods will naturally lead to a great result. And this is the perfect way to think about it. Managed quality is like a preventative health check. You're analyzing your project's lifestyle, its core processes, to keep it healthy and strong. Control quality, that's the doctor's visit when you're already sick. It's reactive, searching for defects that are already there. You need both, for sure, but prevention is always the smarter and, frankly, cheaper way to go.
So to do that health check right, you can't just wing it. You need data. You need intelligence. So let's look at the critical inputs that fuel this entire process, turning it from a nice idea into a data-driven powerhouse.
What's really cool here is how we can look at these inputs from a strategic lens. Your quality management plan, that's your rulebook. It's the ultimate guide to what good even means for this project. Quality control measurements, that's your feedback from the trenches, the hard data on how things are actually going. Quality metrics are your KPIs. They make good measurable. The risk report is your radar, looking out for threats. And the lessons learned register, that's your corporate memory, making sure you don't make the same mistakes over and over again.
Okay, so we've got our intel. Now what do we do with it? It's time to open up the toolkit. This is the how-to part, where we dig into the specific techniques you'll use to actually assess and improve the health of your project's processes.
What's great is that the PMBOK framework gives us this whole toolbox, and it's got a ton of variety. It's not just one thing. You've got ways to gather data, analyze it, and show it in a way that makes sense. And what's really important is that it includes structured, formal techniques like audits and design for X. This is what takes quality management from just an informal chat to a real professional discipline.
Now look, you're not going to use every tool on every project. That's just not realistic. The real skill is knowing which one to grab and when. So let's zoom in on 3 of the heavy hitters you'll find in any great project manager's toolkit: audits, cause and effect diagrams, and structured problem solving. An audit is a huge one, and it's so important you know how it's different from an inspection. An inspection looks at the product. An audit looks at the process. An audit asks, are we even following our own rules? Are our procedures actually working? Are we set up to win? It's that formal checkup to make sure what you're doing matches the plan. All right, next up. When a problem does pop up, the cause and effect diagram, you might know it as a fishbone diagram, is your best friend. Instead of just slapping a Band-Aid on the symptom, this tool helps your team brainstorm and map out all the possible things that could be causing it. Is it a training issue? A bad process? Old tools? It gets the team to stop blaming and start understanding.
This right here, this is the antidote to firefighting. Instead of just reacting, this systematic approach makes you define the problem, dig for the real root cause, and then, and this is the part everyone skips, verify that your fix actually worked. That last step is the key to making sure you solve a problem once and for all.
Okay, you've used your tools, you've analyzed your processes. So what? What comes out of all this work?
This section is all about the outputs, the actual, tangible things you create that deliver real value to the project and the whole organization.
See, the work you do here doesn't just vanish into thin air. It produces 4 really important outputs that move the project forward: strategic reports, formal change requests, detailed test documents, and all the updates that keep your project plans from getting stale. The first, and you could argue the most important output, is the quality report. The PMBOK guide itself says this isn't just a laundry list of problems. It's designed to be forward-looking. It has to include analysis and specific recommendations for how to get better. Let me put it this way. A quality report is not a history lesson. It's a strategic brief. It's the executive summary on the health of your project, and it must come with an action plan. This is the document you take to leadership and say, here's where we're vulnerable, and here's exactly what we're going to do about it. It's built to drive action. The second major output you'll create are your test and evaluation documents. Basically, these are the detailed plans, the step-by-step procedures, and the checklist that you'll use later on in control quality to prove that the final product actually meets the standards you set way back at the beginning. Think of it like this. These documents create a clear line of traceability. They are the hard evidence that connects your high-level quality goals from the planning phase directly to the specific tests you run at the end. It's all about making sure nothing gets lost along the way and holding ourselves accountable.
Okay, for our last section, let's zoom out and see how this all connects. It is so important to get this. Managed quality isn't a box you check once. It is the central engine in a powerful, ongoing cycle of continuous improvement.
If you take away one thing, let it be this. This is a dynamic, living process. You don't just do quality in week 3 and then move on. Managed quality is the engine that is constantly running, taking in new data and spitting out improvements for the entire life of the project.
And this is where it all comes together. The data you get from control quality, like your defect reports, becomes the new intelligence that feeds your proactive managed quality process. And the outputs you create, like a change request to fix a broken process, then get formally implemented through integrated change control. That is how a project learns, adapts, and actually gets better over time. So I'll leave you with this question. Based on everything we just talked about, what is the single most critical process in your current project? The one that, if you audited and improved it today, would have the biggest, most positive impact on your success tomorrow? Go find it. That's the power of managing quality.